What's going on, guys? It's Red Bull Tanker, and welcome back to HBG's The Korean War. This is turn 4. Little bit to get through. Well, there was definitely action this turn, so let's get right into it. All right, North Korea. Starting off, North Korea had 28 IPC to spend. They bought a mech, 3 supplies, and then 3 infantry and 3 artillery. Combat. All right, first, the North Koreans took their forces from the 38th parallel west, or I'm just going to call it 38 west. They had 4 infantry and artillery, a tank, and a fighter. They went into Incheon and attacked a lone South Korean infantry. They did kill the South Korean infantry, but the South Korean infantry did get a hit on the North Korean infantry. And then over here, on the eastern side of Korea, the North Korean forces from 38th East attacked into Chuncheon. They had 9 infantry, 3 artillery, 3 tanks, going up against 8 infantry and an artillery. The battle went 2 rounds, and at the end, the 8 infantry and artillery from South Korea were destroyed. Though the South Koreans did make a name for themselves, and they were able to take out 5 of the North Korean infantry. All right, non-combats. North Korea moved all their forces from Pyongyang here into Yanggu. I can never remember. Yep, Yanggu. So he has a powerful force here ready to cross the parallel to reinforce his troops that are pushing south. He moved some of his mechanized infantry around, since you need mechanized infantry to transport supplies. So he's getting his mechanized infantry moved around, so that way he can facilitate the movement of more of his ground troops. And then, then at the end of the turn, he dropped all of his deployments here in Pyongyang. All right, going up to China. China can once again make its purchase of 35 units, or purchase with 35 IPC. So up here in China, China had 35 to spend. They bought 1 supply token, China bought 1 mech, 1 supply token, and 5 tanks, and they placed all that here in Anshan. And that was all China really did this turn. All right, coming down, we now go to the Allies with South Korea. South Korea had 30 IPC to spend. They bought 1 supply, 9 infantry, and saved 1. They made no combats. They just made some movements. They pushed this infantry from Daejeon into Cheonan. Let's see here. This guy's still here. They moved forces from Pohang up here to Andong, along with some mech units, bringing up supplies. Which something's not right here, but okay. I can't remember. I think something went wrong here, but that might have been me. So there was that. And then the South Koreans moved this infantry from Gwangju up to Gangneung. Trying to get another flanker here to save this 2 IPC, since the North Koreans are probably going to have to focus on Seoul in the coming turn. And then at the end of the turn, Creasy. I apologize. I screwed up again. Okay, 1 second. All right, so out of the 9 infantry, 3 were deployed in Seoul. And then the And then the 6th Infantry and supply. And I know I did the supply. The 6th Infantry and supply were built here in Pusan. All right, and now that combat has actually started, we are now moving the collect income phase to the beginning of the next turn as the rules dictate. I'll quickly show you. So yeah, this game starts at the beginning of each turn. That's when you do the collect income. So you don't collect income at the end of your turn. All right, next we'll go to the United States. They had 56 to spend. They bought, and so they bought 3 infantry, flagging them under the 1st Marine Division. They bought 2 artillery, 1 tank, 3 transports, and a fighter. The U.S. did not conduct any combat this turn, mainly non-combats. Just coming back over to the map. The U.S. 24th Infantry Division with its artillery left Osan and came down here to Sangju, along with the fighter that was also here in Osan, and then this fighter from the carrier, this fighter from the USS Midway, out here in the Straits, also came up to support the 24th Infantry Division here. They also spent some supplies to move the 1 regiment from the 25th Infantry Division with a mechanized infantry and an artillery from Pusan to Pohang. The U.S. moved their bomber, their B-29 strategic bomber, off of Tsushima and brought it to Pusan as well. And then finally, the first American reinforcements have reached Korea. These 2 fighters left the supply track and deployed right here in Pusan. So the first of the U.S. and UN reinforcements have reached Korea. And then, like I said, we dropped those units here on the supply tracker. All right, finally, the UN. The UN had 29 to spend. They bought 1 mech, 5 supplies, and then 2 fighters. So 2 fighters here. They did launch 1 round of combat this turn. They took a fighter from the carrier and went 1, 2, and there was a North Korean fighter here in 38th West. They dueled it out, and both fighters killed one another. So it was a 1-for-1 trade on that. Outside of that, the only non-combat that the UN did was they took their bomber from Tsushima and brought it here to Gwangju to help reinforce the small UN contingent there, and then they deployed the 5 supplies and another mech there. So that is it. Yes, that is it for turn 4. I mean, the game is finally rolling, so now we'll actually kind of be able to see, but I don't know. I mean, the game's only 12 turns. We're already 4 in, and the North Koreans are still not quite there yet to taking Seoul, let alone, I mean, if they don't attack Seoul on turn 5, that's just another turn that the South Koreans can throw reinforcements to make the fight for the city even more heavy. But we will just have to see. So that is it for now, guys, and we will see you next time. So until then, guys, as always, take care.